to educate, motivate, and build one another through shared knowledge and success. This is the Young and Successful podcast on NIDO Radio.
NIDO Radio.
And these are your hosts, Che Chukwi and Kenny Awashika.
This is the Young and Successful podcast on NIDO Radio. NIDO Radio is the number one radio serving Nigerians in the diaspora. Our guest today is Dr. Joseph Igietseme. Dr. Igietseme received his education in Nigeria and the United States. He subsequently trained in biomedical science research, became a professor at Morehouse School of Medicine, and was appointed Chief of Molecular Pathogenesis Laboratory at the Center of Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, Georgia, 2002. As a senior scientist, Dr. Igietseme's research is supported by the CDC and the National Institute of Health, and he has over 200 peer-reviewed publications, reviews, articles, and presentations. Amongst other awards, Dr. Igietseme won the prestigious 2010 CDC Shepherd Award for the most outstanding published research and received the 2010 Nakano Citation Award for outstanding research, indicating the national and international recognition of his research work. Furthermore, Dr. Igietseme serves as subject matter expert in various government and corporate biomedical science panels, review boards, and study sections of international agencies such as the NIH, CDC, MRC, the Gates Foundations, and several entities, public, government, and private. He is active in professional organizations such as the American Association of Immunologists, American Society for Microbiology, American Association for the Advancement of Science, Georgia Academy of Science, and he is a reviewer on the editorial board of several biomedical science journals. Last but not least, Dr. Igietseme is a member of several community and international organizations whose objectives include people's socio-economic empowerment, community development, and fostering superior governance. Dr. Igietseme, it's an understatement when I say it's a pleasure to have you with us here today. How are you doing, sir?
Very good. Nice to have you, two of you, Kenny and Che.
Yes.
It's my pleasure to have you on NIDO Savannah.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It feels like we're home, you know?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Right. I've been in Georgia for over 20 years now, so I'm pretty comfortable. Hospitality and the opportunities, the direct flight to Nigeria,
right?
The empowerment of immigrants and folks. So Georgia is where it is.
Hey, it sounds like I need to move to Georgia. Is what it sounds like right now.
Oh yeah. After this interview, I'm telling you, you will move.
Oh man, I haven't been out there.
Inundated by people from Texas and Tennessee and all over, because Georgia is where it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be ethnic here in any way or shape. I'm not trying to. But if you look at the state of Georgia, you know there is a senator from Georgia right now who is of black ethnicity.
Right.
It's a well mixed state, although part of the southern state, but the people here of all ethnicities have open mind, so they give opportunity to everybody.
Absolutely.
You meet Asian, black, and other minorities who are college presidents, bank CEOs, corporate executives, right here in Georgia. It's not a place where a minority will say, "Oh, I was the only black person there. I was the only Hispanic person." No. Here, they are part of the fabric of the leadership and governance.
Absolutely. And I think that is also very important because it also speaks a lot about how far we have come as a people, right? Because a lot of times what we see generally in mainstream media is not usually the good stuff that we're out here doing, right? And which is exactly the purpose of this podcast, right? Also, very much what NIDO Radio is about. Pushing forward the image and of all the good things that we're up to these days, right? Which is something we spoke about before the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks again for for welcoming us to NIDO Radio.
Okay.
Uh, we definitely appreciate the efforts and the work that you're putting into changing the narration and communicating to the world that Nigerians around the world are doing great things. And we hope that Young and Successful is able to continue to get that message across to to the world. So
Yeah.
we're gonna jump right into the interview session now, uh, and hope you're ready.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I
sir.
am. I'm looking forward to
Absolutely.
these possibilities through our global communication platform. You know, the TV is also coming. The NIDO TV is also coming. So you guys should be ready.
We'll be
Oh,
there.
okay,
This
We're
is
going to be there.
we're
We're
going to
definitely
be
going to
there.
be there.
for your
Yes.
information. I'm not sure if you know the structure of NIDO very well. If any of you has a Nigerian heritage, you better make sure you join NIDO. Look for one chapter around you and
Right.
join it. NIDO is an organization made up of all Nigerians in the diaspora, and the
Mhm.
objective, main goal, is to identify talented people, experts, professionals, so that they can be mobilized to be more forthcoming in looking towards Nigeria for development, for investment, to enhance science and technology opportunities there, yeah, so that the industrialization aspiration of Nigeria will become a reality in the foreseeable future. So we are now taking the steps to build the infrastructure, the tools that you need for that mobilization in the
Right.
diaspora. And that is why the radio, the TV is critical. NIDO is present everywhere in the world. In the Americas, North and South, you have NIDO Americas. In Europe, East and West, you have NIDO Europe. In Asia, China, Japan, and the Pacific, you have NIDO Asia.
Oh.
And you also have NIDO Africa in all countries outside of Nigeria. You know, you can't be in Nigeria and be a diaspora, right? That is, so
It's true.
you can see the four continental bodies. Within
Right.
those four continental bodies, you have chapters that are doing the mobilization. And in order to be able to communicate among these chapters and continental bodies, you need a powerful communication system, such
Right.
as the radio, a global radio and global TV system, not a local. That is why we are targeting the digital approach that will
Approach. Yeah.
provide global reach because of the power of the internet.
Yep, and
Incredible.
even better, it's managed by Nigerians, which also help with the initiative, right?
Thank you. It's managed here because I'm not trying to say our people who manage things very well, but our maintenance culture at home has not been too dependable. NIDO radio and NIDO TV will be anchored in the United States, in Savannah, Georgia, USA, and it's here for good. The future generation and people who come after us, we utilize this platform for global communication and support of the home front.
Until the day that
Absolutely.
Nigeria is able to take over.
No, absolutely. I think that's really incredible. Yeah. So, I mean, can you give us a bit of the history of NIDO Radio? I mean, I know NIDO. It's like I said, it's for all the Nigerians in the diaspora, whether and it's non-profit, right? Non-partisan, non-religious, right? But what brought this together?
Well, there's a little bit of history to NIDO itself and then
Right.
NIDO Radio.
Okay.
As you know, in 1979, President Obasanjo successfully handed over the military government to a
Hmm.
democratically elected government headed by Shehu Shagari as president and Alex Ekweme as vice president.
Right.
That 1979. They served the 4-year term and were re-elected in 1983.
Hmm.
Shortly after, they were sworn in for the second term. There was a military takeover. And
mm,
so from 84 all the way to 1999, that we are successful, successive military governments, one coming out, the other one taking over. And so Nigeria was almost a pariah state, that it is with a state that no international organization, international finance or investment or body we would like to touch because they are not sure of the government. They are not sure whether anything is steady. And so when Nigeria was tired of all the military regimes and they wanted to go back to the democratic community, they
Right.
needed a president who is credible, somebody who will take the message to the international community to tell the world that Nigeria is back. So they look around. The most credible person of international stature at the time was Obasanjo. So he was elected at the time under PDP in 1999,
Mhm.
and he almost immediately embarked on a global tour to tell the rest of the world, in the West, in the Europe, in America, in Asia, and everywhere, that Nigeria is back into the international democratic community.
Community.
So while going around, everywhere he went in Asia and in Europe and all that, the people he was meeting, the business community, the people, the public sector, they would whisper to him, "Do you know that we have some people of Nigerian ancestry in
Yeah.
our employment, in our management,
Yeah.
that are in charge of different things?" They were proud to introduce them. However, those series of nudges were putting some ideas into Obasanjo. He started thinking, if I can reach out to as many as possible of these Nigerians in diaspora, and encourage them to really see whatever they can do to assist in nation building, that will
Right.
be something that will be that we can really count on. So in 2000, he decided to embark on the tour and came to Atlanta first and had a dialogue with the diaspora community in North and South America.
mm,
It was a very
Mm.
successful one. He encouraged Nigerians to establish everywhere they are an organization called NIDO. They can establish it according to the laws of the country. They have different chapters and
Right.
coordinate them, provided the basic goals. Mobilize people of Nigerian ancestry, their expertise and resources, and see and engage the government and to see how well those can be channeled for national development. That was it. That was the charge. So you can organize NIDO in any way, but name it NIDO and coordinate them and see how you can mobilize these resources and expertise to Nigeria. It's an open thing. As you know, different countries are involved in this, from
Yeah.
Ireland to even Chinese countries, the Philippines, and Israel, India. Their diaspora communities have helped them tremendously to build their countries. So that was the model Obasanjo wanted for NIDO. So NIDO started getting formed from 2001. NIDO
Right.
started, the different chapters and continental bodies started coming into place. Why I am very fresh with this, that I've been a part of this from the beginning. Actually, the
Right.
first meeting that led to NIDO, I was a part of it in the
Oh,
Americas.
oh, wow.
I was involved in it with Ambassador Joe Keshi and
oh, wow.
Ambassador Jubre Aminu. So I was there. So I knew how NIDO started. So as time went on, successive people come into NIDO and things go. As you know, the Nigerian factor is going to be there sometime. So things slowed a little bit, but NIDO was still alive. Upon review, some of us observed that why things were in a flux was because there were certain pillars for effective mobilization that were lacking.
Hmm.
The outreach was
Mm.
not very effective. So, upon opening a new chapter, we've decided to focus on those few items, those few tools and infrastructure that we ensure that NIDO we enjoy an effective mobilization, and
Mhm.
also to make the organization very professional in its operation. That was how we thought a global radio would be something to seriously think about, and a global TV, digital TV, would be something to think about. And with the World Wide Web and its possibilities, here we are today with NIDO Radio. Here we are with NIDO TV coming up. So this is exactly how NIDO Radio came to be. We decided upon establishing our chapter to focus on those key mobilization tools and infrastructure that will be useful for the
Right.
effective diaspora mobilization.
Oh man,
So
this is incredible.
yeah, this is where how we came to where we are today.
I feel extremely honored to be part of NIDO at this point in time, and I
Thank you
think
very much.
we will definitely keep pushing to push that message further and expand on that
Amen.
message as well. So
Amen.
incredible, Kenny.
Yes, yes. Again, it's an honor to be on the show. As the audience will probably be finding out soon here, Nido and Young and Successful are partnering to push the same agenda, which is to tell the world that Nigerians are doing great things around the world, and that we're looking to bring those talents to Nigeria or keep those talents wherever we are, but portraying that wonderful image of Nigerians around the globe. You'll be seeing a lot more interviews about that shortly through the Young and Successful show. Uh,
Absolutely.
One of the questions that we want to ask you right now is about your mission for NIDO, your chapter's vision for NIDO, um, the radio station and the TV station. We recently interviewed a fellow Nigerian that is currently working on changing the perception. We actually just interviewed him. We just released a video too. The perceptions of Black people around the world. And this guy
Mm,
is a fellow Nigerian. He's having his own version of Netflix. And you guys are doing the same thing, right? Nigerians are doing great things around the world. So what's your immediate vision that you would like to see coming out of NIDO or maybe coming out of Young and Successful?
Well, I think as we work together in this partnership, an
mm,
immediate objective should be for us to really build collaboration so that we can have a database of Nigerians, skilled Nigerians, professionals in the diaspora.
mm.
If we can build such a reservoir that people can turn to anytime they want to. Okay, who is the Nigerian who is in the field of entertainment, or in the field of civil engineering? Like a building just collapsed in Nigeria recently,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Right.
if it's possible for the young professionals to engage some Nigerians in the diaspora who can speak to what may be going on, and
Right.
you interview them here on the either on the TV or on the radio for them to speak to what may be going on, how to go about the rescue mission that will be needed, if there are relief efforts that can be put in place, actions that can be put in place, how to communicate to the rest of the world what we are. You can see how powerful the TV and radio tools will be to
Yeah.
reach out constantly, bring the expert knowledge to Nigeria and the rest of the world, let people know what is going on. That is something I think this chapter will focus on how
Right.
to engage other professionals. In due course, sometime next year, we will assemble a number of organizations, Nigerian diaspora organizations, like the pharmacists, the physicians, the engineers, the accountants, the nurses. They are there functioning very well, and several others. We will
Right.
assemble them as stakeholders in that database and say, let's have a discussion. How can we have an effective collaboration to
Right.
bring about a database of Nigerian skilled professionals in the diaspora, so that anytime something is needed or an opinion, a reliable opinion is needed on an issue, there is a place you just tap into to get it. That is number one. Number two is apart from providing the radio and TV station, the chapter is also
Right.
focused on providing internal communication system, internal communication system for both internal operation and for engagement with some partners. For example, we have a video conferencing system that is 24/7 and can
Right.
accommodate unlimited participants. Unlimited participants. So if we were to have a meeting with, say, the pharmacist group, the physician group, the engineers, the accountants, and all that, we can provide a platform for all of us to meet
Yeah.
to have an effective virtual discussion. That's number one. The other thing that we'll be thinking about down the road is providing a stable NIDO secretariat. That we need a location where you say there is a secretariat for NIDO. Where is it? We have chosen Savannah because, of course, that is where the headquarters of our chapter is. But for historical reasons, because of history of Georgia, number one, and also the fact that Savannah has a huge port, a seaport that services West Africa and Nigeria. A lot of the cars and other goods that are shipped from the United States, especially the southern part, go through Savannah. And so Savannah is a very strategic location for your reach to West Africa and Nigeria. In addition to the communication system I just mentioned, our chapter wants to encourage good governance in Nigeria. So once in a while, we look at Nigeria and say, hey, is there somebody out there that is making efforts in infrastructure, in education, among the people in leadership? Somebody that can really, unequivocally, somebody can say, yes, this year, this guy in his state as governor or as a minister, he built this number of roads. For example, Nigeria needs 4 parallel highways from the south all the way to the north, 2 each on the east and western side of River Niger, and 4 parallel east-west highways, 2 below the arms of River Niger and Benue, and 2 above River Niger and Benue. If you have such highways in Nigeria, for example, it's unbelievable what the potentials would be. There's some few little roads now to go from Port Harcourt to Abuja is war. To go from Lagos to Abuja is a lot of hassle. Some of the highways are unpassable. Nigeria need to commit. A government need to commit to 2 north-south. 4 north-south highways, east and west of the River Niger running to the delta, and 4 east-west highways, 2 below the arms of the River Niger and Benue, and 2 above it. If you provide such highways in Nigeria, what you will have is a lot of things running out of those highways, a lot of development running out of those ways. Transportation will be enhanced, and it's almost unlimited what can come out of this. And also make sure you maintain them.
Absolutely.
But Nigeria is good at conceiving things and not dump it. They won't
Yeah,
maintain.
that
Yeah.
that kind of goes to my next question, right? So the challenge, and I'm sure you've been through it. You kind of mentioned that earlier as well. Is that it's great that we want to change Nigeria. I've done that myself. I just recently got back from Nigeria, from quitting my job to go to Nigeria to start an airline.
Wow.
But the challenge remains: how do we get Nigerians to work together and trust one another to get Nigeria to where Nigeria could be or should be?
Thank you. You see, the it used to be that people maybe make a single call or probably post some fraudulent news in social media. This is where you bring people, you see them, you hold them accountable for what they say, and
Mm.
if things don't pan out, you bring them back and
Right.
you tell them, look, this is what you said 3 months ago, or last year, or 2 years ago, 4 years ago. Where are
Right.
you now? And you make the person to either support its change, or why he remain in his position. So we are going to be very serious about this global media platform that we're providing, the NIDO radio and the NIDO TV. They will be fundamental to most of the things we do. The outreach, our transparency, our accountability, and also to build the trust, because you need news to people, verifiable news for people to really to instill confidence in the operations of in a society. In the absence of that, one person shoot out something into WhatsApp or through mass email and all that. There is nobody to hold accountable, and so people go away with wrong or false impressions about a situation. I cannot even get over the false, the fake Buhari story, that for by some magical means, Buhari went to London, and somebody else called the Jubri of Sudan was now the president of Nigeria. It was ludicrous.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense. People propagated that news because you couldn't bring people to a public place like TV or radio, for them
Mm.
to really tell you how that is possible, where they got their information.
Right.
So this is one time. This is the first time the diaspora community is providing this platform, and I think it's going to really lead to confidence building, so that people can do businesses together. People can know that there is accountability. People can know that there is transparency and there is openness in Nigerians interacting.
Absolutely. I think that that's very important. Some really good things that you said there. Having a platform where we can hold people responsible, right? When you can put a face to an idea, then you can definitely be able to target the problem, put some people to that task, and hold them accountable for it. Right.
Thank you.
Now, I also just wanted to roll back a bit because you said something about the importance of savannah for NIDO. Uh, was this where because earlier on you said Obasanjo came to no, you said he came to Georgia. Is that's not the savannah, is it?
Yeah,
No,
Savannah, Georgia.
Savannah, Georgia. That is, yeah,
Savannah,
okay.
Georgia. Yes,
Damn,
Savannah,
I was
Georgia
thinking
is.
Atlanta. Never mind. Is that so? Is that also part of that importance?
That is, you mean whether
Because you
Savannah,
said
Georgia?
yeah. So Buhari, when NIDO started, right? The first NIDO meeting, the one which you were at, that was in Savannah, correct?
Oh, no, no, it was in Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta.
Atlanta
Okay,
is
okay.
Atlanta is in Georgia, and Savannah is in Georgia as
Savannah is
well.
in Georgia as well. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
That's I got those confused. Kenny, go
yes.
ahead.
All right. So we are making lots of progress in this conversation, and we just hope that our listeners continue to tune in.
Yeah.
So the next question now is this. I'm kind of trying to imagine what the audience will be asking. Um, a good example would be what happened yesterday, last year at the toll gate, right? There was all this conversation about what the government was going to do, and a year later, nothing has really been accomplished. So we
Mm.
have NIDO, we have this Nigerians in the diaspora that has the access and the tools to make a difference, both in the diaspora and back home. How do we put people to work? How does NIDO convert our conversations into action?
Into actions. Yeah.
Because that's what Nigeria need. We can't pray Nigerians' problems away. How do we start taking the actions to solve Nigerians' problem?
Thank you very much. That is that question is very pertinent, very germane to the diaspora mission that is coming in through NIDO. You see, now that NIDO is providing a media platform for to join this conversation,
Mm.
we will be if NIDO had been if this platform had been available last year, some people would have been interviewed, and by now, as I said, some people will now be brought back to say, okay, this was promised, this was promised. Where are we now? But
Mm.
we don't have such a global platform. NIDO has never had such a platform. It's a matter of people, maybe the forum you are, you present as many arguments as you want, and that's it. And the
Right.
forum you are may not be the one where the media chief of either Osibanjo or of Buhari will be. But with the NIDO radio and with the NIDO TV, it will reach them. It will reach somebody that will reach them. And
Absolutely.
you have an opportunity for you to really bring somebody to this station, either through the young professionals forum, for them to answer specific questions. And it's very important. If you know some of the participants in the uh, in the protest, in the advocacy,
Right.
bring them here and say, okay, this was what was promised. Where are we now? So we are providing you this platform so that people can ask pertinent questions.
Is it the questions without retaliations? Would NIDO be independent of any government affiliations?
For example, we invited government bodies to
Mm.
our event, the ambassador, the chief of staff to President Buhari, and different organs of government. We invited them. We organized our show. We paid for paid the expenses. We took
Mm.
ourselves to where we wanted to have our event and invited the public, people to join us. People joined us from Russia, from Asia, from all parts of the world. As you know, when we did our launching on the 16th of October, the
Right.
people joined from all parts of the world, and so it was not just in the Americas. And it's important that people realize that the communication platform we launch on that day will have greater impact than that launching day, because this time all anybody needs to do is to click on that link, get to that radio or TV station, which
Mm.
we advertise daily in all NIDO platforms around the world. And for example, this show will be somebody will be calling me very soon from Moscow or from Singapore. Say, oh yes, I heard your interview with the young professionals. So yeah,
Absolutely.
very soon, of course, from Nigeria, people will be calling as well. So we have a unique opportunity to really change the conversation, to really change how people do things. This is an opportunity to bring people to this platform and ask them why things are happening the way they are happening and why they are not happening in a different way, in the diaspora, in the way probably suggesting global best practices that diaspora has lived. I have lived in the United States. I know that quite often, sometimes the leader that set the agenda may just win by by point 2 point. Israel, for example, Netanyahu was elected prime minister by maybe 50.1 to 49.9.
Right.
Even the new coalition of the new government is leading by point 0.3 or point 0.1 even. That is
Exactly.
all. That is the difference. But the social maturity in these societies makes it possible for everybody to lay low somehow, so that the new government can really push the country forward. Because 49.9% is large. If they want to cause problems for the 51.1, 50.1, they can cause a lot of problems. But you need social maturity. And this is where we can have this conversation that once your opposition has a little edge over you, chill out and don't cause unnecessary problems so that society can move
Can
forward.
move forward.
Yeah, that kind of
Very
leads to
well.
the next question. Shay, if you mind if I jump in this one
Yeah,
real
go
quick?
for it, dude.
So we call our show Young and Successful, right? So we want to be the voice of the young because the young is the future of Nigeria,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
And some of the voice that we hear from young Nigerians, both in Nigeria and the diaspora, is that the leaders since the independence of the nation are still the leaders that we have today. That the young, although not young anymore, are not being given the opportunities to implement their ideas or move the country forward, and that all the wealth of the company is still in the hands of a very few. I'm sure this. I hope these are some of the solutions that Dino is trying to resolve, and that the
Right.
technological advancement that the country could be achieving is way behind, which is why our talent has been exported around the globe. So the question is, what or how can Dino
NIDO.
influence that?
NIDO,
How can
Yeah.
you allow the young to now start getting in power or in position to make a difference?
you see, I enjoy the way you articulated the aspiration of the youth. It's powerfully expressed. I think one way to do that is come to a platform like this
Mm.
with global outreach and continue to agitate. It is an intellectual discussion that is translated to to meaningful changes at home. If people don't have the discussion actively in a platform that people are hearing, nothing will change, because everybody will grumble in his privacy, between you and your colleagues,
On
between me and
WhatsApp.
my colleagues, and so
What's
nobody is hearing you. So you need a platform where people can hear you and where some of these people will feel embarrassed to even come out to contest. So you need relentless, constant, and regular agitation and advocacy. That you can't, you if you don't, I'm trying to let you understand the significance of having a media platform, a global media platform that is in everybody's house every day. We are
right.
trying to have a digital CNN for the diaspora community,
Right.
and it's both in radio form, in audio form, and in video form, TV. So with that, somehow, we will get to the Nigerian populace everywhere they are in the world, and they will be hearing. After watching this program, for example, somebody will call the father who wants to contest, the father who is about 89 years, will want to still contest it, or say, Dad, can you just relax? What's the problem? Because the person would have heard from you. So can you nominate your grandchild to become? There was one ambassador, for example, who came to Washington, D.C. a few years ago. The ambassador
Right.
could hardly move. The ambassador could have nominated his grandson to take over that position. And the
Absolutely.
grandson could have made it. He would have stayed back and be advising the grandson on how to really be useful to the Nigerian people and society. But he insisted on coming because nobody was saying anything. So, in
Absolutely.
every society that has been successful, people have agitated, people have advocated a better way, an alternate way. So we need platform for that, and that is what we are providing. I am sure people are wondering, what are we up to? What we are up to is to enlighten the Nigerian people outside of the country and in the country that there is a better way. We've lived in the diaspora community. There are global best practices we have seen, we have experienced, and Nigeria can benefit from them. Science and technology research and development
Right.
focus by society. Look at the vaccine that we just got for COVID. A problem come into a society, the government stood up and earmark money. In Nigeria, they are still discussing whether it's a private business or whether it's public or private. They are still discussing who is going to fund it. Did you see that the Congress and Trump voted money right away, $10 billion earmarked, and told
Yeah.
everybody to go into their laboratories. Within few months, the solution to COVID was at hand. That is how the public sector leadership lead to private sector opportunities. So private sector does not get up overnight and become no, there is no place in the world like that. The public sector leadership provide opportunities, seeing the need of of a society. They say, look, this is what will be important. We need these highways in Nigeria. They say, okay, they set up something authority, bring in some people and say, we want this road built. They provide the resources, and say you must deliver. That is how the private the development in most countries are driven by public sector leadership, but
Right.
using the efficiency of the private sector to drive them.
Yeah, Shay, I'm about
Love it.
to jump into another question.
Carry on, dude.
So
I'm loving this.
the challenge that we have in Nigeria now is that when that does happen, which does happen sometimes, the private institutions are not held accountable,
Thank
or they
you.
outsource to China.
Mm.
China doesn't deliver or deliver half
Yeah, they never do.
Exactly. So yeah.
and
So
we
I
are where
guess
we are.
Yeah.
yeah. So we do have a lot to talk about on this show, and these are all great conversations to have to start seeing how we can move the country, the nation, and the continent forward. Because Nigeria is called the elephant of Africa, and if Nigeria is healthy, I believe the rest of African nations can start getting healthy as well.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Totally.
Shay, let me
Absolutely.
let me
Yes, sir.
pass the baton back to you.
Well, look, I think this they say when you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. This is why we do what we do, and I think for you too, doctor, I think it's the same thing as well, right? And you know, I would like to also kind of just switch gears here a little bit to also kind of talk about some of your extensive career, very accomplished career as well in the biomedical field. Um, when you decided to take on the biomedical sciences, right, and up to the point where you're a senior scientist at the CDC, these are all very incredible things. Also, skills that are very useful for our development back in Nigeria as well, right? How did you decide to get into this? Was it something that you had always been planning to do?
Well, we say thank you for the question.
Yeah.
I would say it was most of the things I have done are born out of the available opportunities. That is, opportunity in a society can
Mm,
actually orient the citizens
mm,
to excel or to just rot. You see Nigerians when they go out,
Yes,
because
sir.
they have the inherent abilities. When you present opportunities to them, they say, wow. Let me give you an example. I have some samples,
Right.
be DNA samples or reagents, that I had frozen down in my
Yeah.
freezer about 20, 25 years ago. They are still
Wow.
there.
Oh
I
wow.
can still go back to them anytime when they are needed and tap
Mm.
to it. Tell me a setting in Nigeria that has such facilities that you can put
Never.
it.
Never.
So
We
no,
need those. Mm.
there has to be a leadership in
Yeah.
Nigeria that understand the need to build the infrastructure.
Yeah.
That every university coming up must have regular water and electricity,
Yes, indeed.
and ensure that, for example, Ministry of Science and Technology will give grants to every university to make sure that they use available gas or crude to ensure 24/7 electricity in
Right.
their campuses. That is how the Western world is making it. It doesn't happen by miracle.
This is true.
Every year, votes are made to Georgia Tech, to different Stanford, and all that. That is how they make it. In Obama Recovery Act,
The
Yeah, recovery act.
oh yeah,
provided
recovery.
grants to everybody, almost all institutions. The
Right.
HBCUs got grants to expand their laboratories or upgrade their facilities. The
Mm.
HBCU are the historically black colleges.
Colleges. Yeah.
Yeah, most of the state schools had similar grants as well to upgrade their facilities and provide
Mm.
more laboratories, equipment. There are equipment grants. There are several of them. Those are things one guy told me that cars don't run on empty. That is, if you see a car running on the highway and it's going pretty good, and you have gasoline in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so it doesn't run on
Solar.
empty. Some of these glamorous things you see in the Western world, they don't run on empty.
Absolutely.
For Silicon Valley to be in place, those academic institutions and the state of California had to come together and agree on how to build an industrial base in California. That is how the Silicon Valley came to be. A certain from the taxes in the society, a certain amount was set aside, and so essentially the money came from Californians to build that place. Then after a while, as entrepreneurs see things coming, some more people with money can come in and extend be part of it as well. But
Right.
public leadership is critical for most of this development. And
Absolutely.
if they care enough, they can put some regulatory guidelines in place to ensure probity, to ensure compliance, to ensure deadlines are met. You think they don't? They still in the United States, they still in Russia, they still in all these other developed places. People embezzle money. You know that there are
This is
corrupt
true.
people everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So,
It's
but
there are people robbing whole countries.
people take steps to ensure that people deliver, and also if somebody screws up, you are punished.
And I think
Exactly.
that goes to the next question, which is the mindset, because it's a process or way of thinking, right? And we normally ask our guests, what's got you in this state of mind to want to make a difference, or be that change that the nation needs, or the change that you are in anywhere you find yourself. How do we get Nigerians to start understanding that we need to change our mindset on how to change the country?
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether an evolutionary process is what it needs or dramatic revolutionary thinking is what it will take. That's a leader comes in and say, I want one, two, three things to take place. Or we just coast on in an evolutionary fashion so that people
Mm.
who think one way would have interacted with other people in the world sufficiently to know that, oh, we can do this as well and all that. It's going to be one of those, or a combination of some of them. Actually, by now, one would have thought that seeing what has happened in different parts of the world, we don't need to go through a long term, 200 years before we can really change. 20 years should be sufficient to change Nigeria. For example, if you provide these four parallel
Roads.
north, south, and east, west highways, make sure they are there in Nigeria. Number one. Two, make sure that every university has 24/7 light, regular light and water. And in most cities, you make sure that the waste and sewer management systems are in place. You would have solved a lot of problems in Nigeria. People will then take it from there, tap into the available water. Most companies, for your information, that run out of business in Nigeria is as a result of the cost
Yep.
that's associated
Yeah.
Operational
with
cost.
some energy, water, and some of these other things that are not directly related to their production operations.
Wow.
You essentially have an independent operation of its own for generators and all other energy provision items. You have another one for water and other tankers all over the place. But if
Absolutely.
you solve a centrally located, go to most cities in the United States, the county, the city still provide water for them to ensure, because it's an essential commodity. And the state takes this on. It's not going to be something you'll be making profit on a daily basis. They know that. If you want to be making profit on certain items every day, nothing will ever come. Who is the entrepreneur who will go out and say, I'm going to go take a loan so that I can make water available to every university, every? It's not going to happen.
Yeah, this is true.
It is when you already set up the base. Go to every city in the United States, you will see some of the hanging tankers. This is the county. This is the
Right.
county. They are everywhere. In Atlanta, we still pay water to our county. When I was in Washington, D.C., it was the same thing. Pay to the city government, or because those things are so critical for the normal operation of everyday life that just leaving them to demand and supply won't work.
This is true. Well, you have any questions before
Hey,
we bring this one to a wrap up here?
no, no. I
I
can
will say
continue.
this. I will
Yeah,
say
go
this.
ahead.
Uh, Dr. Igietseme, you have lit the torch, okay? And I think Young and Successful is definitely going to carry it on. I'm looking forward, especially to talk to young Nigerians everywhere, incredible young Nigerians everywhere who are doing whatever it is they do that can join forces to make these changes happen. This is not a it's not a walk in the park, right? It's definitely not a walk in the park, but I think that we are definitely in an environment that there we have the ability, like you've mentioned multiple times before, we now have the ability to make these changes with technology, right? These digital platforms, right?
Yeah.
Passing out the information to as many people as possible and putting out those ideas and being able to identify and put a face, right, to some people that we can hold accountable for making sure that this progress happens. And we're very excited to be part of this one, for
Thank
sure.
you very much. We count on the partnership. We would like your program to feature more frequently. You actually have a partnership with us
Yeah,
for regular broadcasting to your audience around the
yeah,
world, and you will enjoy our reach,
yeah.
which will, your programs will be there all over the world, and what you do will also be there around the world. So it's a good, it's a,
Yeah,
and
this
we have the
is
same message to empower Nigerians so that the diaspora community can contribute more to Nigerian development. So that is, in a nutshell, that's what we have the same goal.
absolutely incredible. It's very powerful, and I'm beyond excited for this. We already have a list, and look forward to some incredible stuff coming your way. So I'm very excited for that.
Please, yeah, we need more of your programs, and
Yes, sir.
so that we can feature more. I don't know other platforms that you use, so that you advertise us there, so that more people
Yeah,
can join our NIDO. NIDO
absolutely.
Savannah is there. If you tune to NIDO Americas South Savannah .org,
Yeah,
you will see us, how to join, how to be part of this conversation. If you have any talent, come in through any of our programs, through our partnership with the young professionals, or some of these other ones that we have developed, and we can go from there.
man,
You can
absolutely
always
incredible. Yeah,
reach us.
we have the links as well, and we're going to be sharing
Thank
that
you.
in the
And
description.
we have a dedicated telephone as well. Anybody can reach us anytime.
Yes, we
Yes,
have that
sir.
number. So we're going to put that in the description. We'll be sharing that on Facebook
And
as well,
the website, and the telephone number.
and the telephone number. Yep,
Yes.
there we go. Well, this has been absolutely incredible. It's been educational, it's been inspirational, and it's absolutely been empowering. Okay, just to be able to just sit here and just listen and learn, really, for all of us, because that is one of the things that we like to do here on the podcast as well. Kenny, any final thoughts, sir?
I would say thank you once again. Thanks to the audience, and look
Yes.
forward to some great interviews.
Dr. Igietseme, thank you for joining us this evening.
I hope I'll be following your programs on NIDO Radio and possibly soon NIDO TV. So
Yes,
I was told that it's possible to have tape to do the taping for both media outlets. So
yes.
feel free
W-
to.
w-
We are excited to work with you in this partnership.
Incredible. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. We're
And
happy
if
to
there are
hear that.
people who want to advertise with us, let them know that they can actually advertise through media. And we are a non-for-profit group.
Right.
We always appreciate donations to make our
Donations.
programs work well.
Yep.
So that we can develop more program. But we are not for profit. We advertise free of charge. And just whatever donation you give us, we appreciate.
Incredible. Well, this has been a Young and Successful podcast on NIDO Radio. NIDO Radio is the #1 internet radio serving Nigerians in the diaspora. Until next time, check out.
Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Kenny,
Yes.
NIDO Radio.